Go on the cars, go. Go on the cars. Kuno fam, what's good? We're back. We got Thlogi, our resident here. Gonna chat a bit about the Fulham game about to kick off. So yeah, Thlogi, man, welcome. What's happening? How you doing? It's been a while, eh?
Yeah, man, I know it's been a while. I've been good, eh? Been a good boy, been under the weather, a lot of work. But yeah, what can
Yeah,
we do, eh?
usual beginning of the year specials, first quarter. But saying that, we into the last final games. We're going to Fulham, kind of off a good run. I don't know if we've had a week of winning, but it's been a while. So, how are you feeling about today's game, and what do you expect to see?
You know, I don't know. It's Arsenal is a bit tricky. It's a bit difficult to project what kind of outcome we're gonna get, particularly because with this conversation that we're having right now. Can you confirm? Can you mention at least the minimum of 8 players that we can say are players in our starting lineup? I personally cannot. Arteta is chopping and changing his teams almost every weekend, and I think what that does is it affects the team, the structure of the team, the outlook, the form of players themselves. You will find a player that's in form, and that player gets dropped. You don't know why. And when the player is brought back into the fray, the playing is just atrocious. So I think it's one of those things that have really, really affected how we play as a team, and the results. So today will be a bit difficult to project. But I think if we have a similar team to the one we had against Fulham, adopt a similar strategy. I mean, when we played Slavia Prague, the one thing we did was we pushed. We didn't sit and wait to absorb the pressure. I don't understand how we were so different from how we played them the first time around, and I think that almost sums up our season in that we generally being a bit poor at home, and our form seemed to change a bit when it comes to away games. I think Arteta was trying to address the issue that we had with away games, but in him doing that, the form at home dropped horribly. So yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Emirates hasn't been the same. It's like you're not too sure. I was actually shocked going away to Prague or going away anywhere, even to Sheffield United. We went and got a job done. So it is quite surprising. Not too sure if the guys are hyped up, maybe, going to the end of the season, trying to finish off on a high. Maybe they realize they didn't put in enough effort this season. But yeah, no, I get what you mean. We want to see that attacking play. But from the, as you said, maybe you can't really choose. Is there anyone, let's just rather say, who you'd like to see play today or get a chance to perform?
I think for me is the usual suspects really. With Oba suffering from malaria, I think it's best we start with the front three of Pepe, Lacazette, and Saka. Laka has been doing amazing work. You know what I mean? Since the miss against Slavia Prague, the 2 games that we had him, I mean, even that miss, he created a chance from nothing. And he hit the woodwork. It's not like it was one of those wayward chances that it's not like he just ballooned the ball over the goalpost. You know what I mean? So I'll forgive him a bit for that, especially because he came back and scored 2 goals in the second in the second leg of the same tie to really help us bury Slavia Prague and advance through to the next round. So I think I'd love to see Laka. Pepe scored a goal. Saka scored a goal as well. So basically, the 3 guys that scored the 4 goals against Slavia Prague, I would like to see them. I mean, Saka has been the shining light for the rest of the season, or for the entire season, pretty much. And Lacazette, I mean, Pepe himself, look, he has struggled a little bit, but I mean, we've seen how he'll pick up his form. I mean, there are games where he wants him. I mean, he became one of the key reasons why he won the game, because he would just be aggressive, he would attack, he would play his football. So I would like to see those 3. I'm still a bit iffy about Odegaard, and I'll tell you why. Nothing has been mentioned about whether Odegaard is staying or not. When we loan players from other teams, like we loaned Odegaard from Real Madrid, we give him game time. But when other teams loan our players, let's say Atletico Madrid, who's that boy? The Uruguayan man,
Torreira.
They were killing him. He wasn't seeing a lot of game time there. not knowing whether the
Yeah,
coach
yeah.
was getting for snatching Thomas Partey right at the end of the season. But that being said, I would like to see Smith Rowe as opposed to Odegaard. Let him stretch his legs a little bit. If he's not performing, then you can replace him for Odegaard. Center, I would like to see. I don't know if we should still keep Xhaka at left back or not. Maybe what you could do is play Xhaka and Partey as the two centers, and on the left play Cedric, on the right play maybe Chambers. Now with that setup already, at least Cedric brings a little bit of experience to the team. So with that setup, maybe we can chance with a Holding and Gabriel. But if the back line is too experienced, then my biggest bet would be let's go with Pablo Mari. I think one of the things I picked up is that when you played the Liverpool game, the reason you considered the 3 goals as stupidly as you did, in my opinion, was the fact that we had a very inexperienced back line. But with the experience that Pablo Mari has in that back line, he's able to control Martial and to maintain structure at the back.
Yeah.
That way becomes it's not easy for teams to. It won't be that easier for teams to pick us apart the way that Liverpool picked us apart, because Liverpool didn't even turn up for the game on the day, to be quite honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would like to see at least one experienced player at the back, and I mean in goal, obviously Leno would be the choice there.
Yeah, no,
so
that's
yeah,
a good Sorry,
that would be the starting lineup that I would like to see. And obviously, you would have your Martinelli on the bench. If things are not happening, then bring him on board. You know what I mean? And in fact, I would like to see one of those where we do the job early enough to rest some of the legs and have your Martinellis and some of the younger players coming on to come and stretch that legs a little bit.
Yeah, the match that we played in the first leg, I think we destroyed like 5-1 or 4-1, and I think it was 3 assists by William. I think it was the first game of the season, so no William mentioned, so looks like he's out there.
Like I said, we were playing away. Here, right now we're playing at home. I don't understand why we put ourselves under so much pressure when we're playing at home.
Yeah, it is a strange one, eh? Ole made a funny comment. He was like, so I changed all the banners in the stadium to black. The ones that are on your eye level, on the ground. Because the guys used to look over, and if we're wearing red shirts, we can't see each other because the banners are messing with our eyes and stuff like that.
All right.
So now all the United, if you go to the beginning of the season, all of them were red at the front. Now all of them are black to help them because their home form was so bad. I don't know, maybe red is not our color in the front there. We don't know. But we should get the job done. And before I want to just chat about, you mentioned something about the Liverpool game, and over there, yeah, you were right. I think, and the one player I want to single out there, I think Danny Ceballos didn't have a really good game, and it just the pressure trickled. But the games after that, when he had to play, I think he played the Sheffield United and the Slavia Prague one. He was phenomenal. Like his movement off the ball. Do you think that and you've always liked this guy? The question I'm going to ask is, like, do you think that the Liverpool game was a bit like thrown into the deep end because he didn't play a lot of ball? We come out of international break. Then the next 2 games he really shows. What do you think it was? Liverpool just too hard on their press on us? Because I just felt those past 2 games he's been so good.
Yeah, look, I think interesting you speak about Danny. Look, I was about to say as another option. Remember in the Slavia Prague game, what we did, I think, was we dropped Xhaka to left back and we played Ceballos down the middle or as a double pivot with Thomas Partey, which wasn't bad. So Ceballos is one of those players where he had 2 good, like you're rightfully pointing out, he had 2 good games. The likelihood is, you won't see him in the starting lineup right now. You know what I mean? So it's just Arteta's unpredictability when it comes to the starting lineup. It's starting to affect the form of certain players. I mean, that's my opinion. That's how I see it.
You can't get fluidity maybe, or kind of like...
Exactly. And also the Liverpool game, let's just be honest. Every single Arsenal player on the field on the day was terrible. Every single one of them. Every single one of them.
No one. The game was over.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it just like he was a bit shaky at Liverpool. That's all I mentioned. You know, some of his touches, but then when he came into like the next few games, some of his touches were brilliant. Like he's just passing dudes, getting into good space, moving the ball. So I just feel like maybe he's not getting the credit sometimes he deserves.
Was it his clever back heel? Was it? Yeah, I think it was against Sheffield that opened up like I said.
Yeah, I think it was him. That
Yeah, that
little
was brilliant play.
Yeah, you know, so he brings that. But let's talk a little bit about a Thursday's game because that was a big one for us. And just before we get into the Fulham match, but yeah, man, 4-0, damn, like going away to Prague, and everyone knows what the internet's been saying about that team and everything like that. So I think we got a win for like the whole non-racist community. You
Are
know
they
what
not
I
the
mean?
same
Like,
guys that? Are they not the same guys that knocked out Tottenham?
no, they knocked out Leicester and Rangers.
Oh yeah, you're right. They
Yeah,
knocked out
so
Tottenham, but it doesn't matter.
it was another
Listen,
upset team.
I think we Leicester probably didn't take them seriously. And the EPL is bigger and more tough than definitely tougher than the Czech league. And going into that game, probably I think because they drew at the Emirates, they thought it would be easier for them. And also the draw at the Emirates, really, in my opinion, came from us not pushing as hard as we should have. I think that in the game we just we were trying to soak the pressure. We set in a little bit too deep. We really it was a half-hearted game from the players. If you looked at it, no one really looked like they wanted to take their chances. But when we went to Prague, I think the reality kicked in that if we don't perform, we're out. And if we get knocked out of the Champions League, out of the Europa League, there's no European football next season. And everyone just sprung to life. And I mean, from the first minute, we dominated. Look, that goal was offside. It's questionable whether it's offside or not. I don't even want to go to it because it's besides the point. What irritated me though was we banked in 3 goals in the first half, right? Second half, we sleep for most of the second half.
Yeah.
And we started waking up again towards the end of the second half. And some big clubs, what they do is at that point, you just keep your foot on the accelerator and score as many goals as you possibly can. Now, this like it's a bad habit, and I cannot pin it on Arteta. I can't pin it on Unai. I can't because even under Wenger, we would do exactly the same thing. I mean, I'll never forget the game against Newcastle, where we led 4-0 at halftime, only to draw 4-4 at the end of the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So that is the one problem that I had with that game. I mean, I was watching it with Koeman. At one point, we were not even watching the game. We were just having a conversation because it just
it slowed down a lot.
To watch.
It did slow down a lot. Yeah, but maybe, but is it not nice to say, let's get the job done, chill for the last few minutes and substitute your guys on? But I also get it because my thinking was 3-0 first half. Let's put at least 2 more. Let's give these guys a good score, because we're on the front foot. Let's just finish them off. We need to be more deadly. Like a City or Old United, Real Madrid, Barca, whatever, they'll come out. PSG today will come out, score more. In the second half.
I mean, let's look at the number of chances that they themselves created in the second half. There was nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, Slavia Prague was dead. I can't remember one amazing save from Leno. You know what I mean? Just to show you how poor they were on the day, and we just failed to go out there and finish up. Well, we had finished up the game, but to bang in more goals, get a bit more confidence. So players that haven't scored, step up, score a couple of goals, get the confidence back. That's what we needed.
Do you think that maybe?
And also, you don't know if it was the instruction from the coach or if it was just the players. Because also, if it was an instruction from the coach, my opinion would be substitute one player to show that to show intent, to show that you want to increase the intensity levels, and substitute the player well in time for the player to have an impact in the game.
No, 100%. You want to. It is a kind of balancing effect. You want to just get other players on because the game's done, but you don't want to leak in goals. So it becomes but as you said, Slavia Prague. But do you think there was another underlying thing there? Because I don't know if you saw the beginning of the game, how those dudes just stood on the halfway line, and then Lacazette's on his knee in front of all of them, and then all of our guys are on the knee. Do you think at that moment they were like, guys, we need to destroy these guys? You know what I mean?
Which guys?
So, when at the beginning of the match, where we all do the knee. Those guys stood
The shoulder.
Yeah,
I'm the knee. I'm saying the shoulder. Yeah. Look,
yeah.
I don't know if they've been observing that in the Czech. You know what I mean? I don't know if they've been observing that, and look, it's their choice whether to take the knee or not. I wouldn't read too much into it.
Yeah, no,
You know
but
what I
I'm
mean?
just saying for our players like Lacazette down there, do you think like when they looked around, they're like, you know, these guys think we jokes here, you know what I mean? We're gonna come and show them like just a little fuel to the fire, not anything in terms of. Do you think that kind of? Because look, the performance was really exciting. 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes in, we were goal up, got disallowed. 3 minutes later, we score. You know what I mean? 2 minutes later, we score again. You know what I mean? It was like these guys, or as you said, this was do or die. We don't get a performance here, we get knocked out, we done. You know?
Yeah, look, it was, like I said, it was a do or die, and I think they knew it. I think they knew it, and we look. It was a bit bizarre looking at it with players kneeling down, those standing and looking at them. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, well, whatever. I mean, I do know that with the knee, it's been debated a lot. Some people feel like it's over. It's over. Well, the time for it is over and done. We've done it a lot, but the reality is, if we still have racism in sport, we should not stop making. How should I put it? We should not stop trying to address issues of racism.
Yeah.
If it means taking the knee, if it means speaking out, whatever it takes. You know what I mean? I mean, I had a player like Zaha who came out and said whatever he said. I wasn't really in agreement with him, but each their own, and everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But I think for me, the fact that they didn't take the knee and they considered goals that were scored by goals that were scored by three black guys, one of them being African. For me, I think you know what I mean. It was a good thing as an African and as a black guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, yeah, of course, and even better, we're going to the semis. Just before we have to jump off the semis, we face our old man there. You know? Yeah, good evening. You know, so. Hey, that's gonna be. Is that now Arteta's real test? Yeah, if we get to the final, that's the test. But now, is this where the debate between who's better, Arteta and Emery at Arsenal, is over? If Arteta beats him, is that how we're gonna look at it, or is it just the semi? You know, what do you think? Our odds as well.
I think maybe okay. Arteta won the FA Cup, right? But when he won the FA Cup, almost half the matches in the tournament were played under Emery. So one can argue that probably they need to share it. You know what I mean? When you look at the win ratio, the goal scoring opportunities, when you look at all the indicators, who has a better average score from the two of them? You know what I mean? I mean, I know for a fact that we may be conceding less under Arteta, but we are creating less as well. You know what I mean? Arteta killed that attacking football that we were all accustomed to at Arsenal. And Emery he's been around the block. He's coached a number of clubs. He's coached in 3 different leagues. And he has won the Europa League 3 times. You know what I mean? I think it would be a bit unfair trying to compare a newbie like Arteta to Emery, you know? I think it would be a bit unfair. So, and again, look, much love and respect to Emery. He gave us all he could. I mean, his first season at Arsenal, we finished 5th. I think we were a point adrift from the Champions League spot, and we lost at the finals of the Europa League. And again, you know that I keep saying to a lot of people, when Oba missed that penalty against Tottenham, in my heart, I looked like it really felt like a loss and not like a draw. And when I really thought about it, it's like, dear God, I hope this opportunity is not going to be the one that stands between us and you know, the Europa League and the Champions League. And unfortunately, it did. You know what I mean? So his performance first time around at Arsenal, his first season, obviously he did better than I did. He even did better than Wenger in Wenger's last season at Arsenal. You know what I mean? So for a coach that was only learning the language, didn't understand the league, didn't understand a lot of things about the English Premier League. It's about soccer in England or football in England in totality. I think he wasn't bad. Yeah, I do know that I was one of the people that said he must leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at that time,
at the time, exactly because he looked like he was running out of ideas, right? And for me, looking at Arteta right now, you know, again, I don't want to jump into the bandwagon of saying he must leave, but in reality, I think, myself included, we may have judged Emery a bit too harshly. Maybe it could be because we had high expectations because he was coming from PSG as an experienced coach. And I think we are a bit lenient on Arteta because he's a newbie. He's only starting out at Arsenal. He hasn't really gotten his fingers properly wet in terms of coaching, in terms of being a football manager, right? But now the big question is, should we not see it past Arteta and past Unai? Should we give him another season or not? Because I think if you don't win against Villarreal, I don't see us getting European football from our position in the league, and obviously not playing in Europe, coupled up with the lack of fans in the stadium. That will have I would rather, how do I put it? Not playing in Europe will exacerbate the financial situation we're in, which is also as a result of us not having fans in the stadium, because there was a good chunk of our revenue. You know what I mean? Now, for a coach that firstly, we failed to make it into Europe. Secondly, his inability to achieve a particular objective results in a very bad financial position or financial performance for the club itself. Do we keep him or do we want him to stay? So it'll be very difficult. I think it'll be very difficult for him.
Yeah, no, it is.
And also, then, if we talk about reinforcing the team, how do we get players next season if we fail to make it into Europe?
So everything hangs in the balance of the offer, pretty much.
Yeah, I think the same way that the FA Cup was a must-win for him last season to make it into Europe. The Europa League is fast becoming a must-win for him to make it into Europe.
Yeah, but Champions League, that will be a nice place in Europe to be, if we win. So,
it'll be a nice place to be in, but you know what makes me sad is we'll go to the Champions League. Yeah, we'll get the money for making it into the Champions League, but we'll get smacked around very quickly, and it'll be back to normal. We'll be back to Thursday night football. Because I mean, in reality, how we played this season is I think for me, what frustrates me the most is I don't see where we're going. You know, under Unai, there was a time we were losing, but I believed in the project because I could see where we were going. I could see what we were trying to do. Right now with Arteta, I mean, with you sitting there, Akish, can you see what we're trying to do?
Here and there, I see the progression. I just don't see where it's going to take us. You know what I mean? Like in terms of getting defense sorted, certain players, the type of play that he's trying to do. I get it. Or it's just that, like, I don't see how it's going to get better to get us maybe top 4 Champions League. You know what I mean? We need more players in. I feel we need stable players. Like, like Odegaard. If Odegaard is going to be our best player, we have to have it permanently. You know what I mean?
Okay. I hear you. The reason that this frustrates me, right, is let's talk. Again, I suppose that the conversation will keep going back to Unai, given that we're playing him next in the Europa League. With less talent on the field, arguably, Unai made 5th in his first season at Arsenal, right? With what we call reinforcements into the team. Look at where we are sitting right now.
Yeah.
Right? And this is coupled up with bad player management, the treatment of Saliba, the treatment of Guendouzi, and of late the treatment of Aubameyang. This is also coupled up with us getting pulling someone from damn near retirement in Willian and insisting on playing Willian week in, week out without him giving us results. This is also one of the things we need to consider. We went 14 games without a win. You understand what I mean? Whereas the coach that we got rid of before Arteta gave us 22 games without a loss.
Yeah. I think the naivety of of him as well plays a big factor because he's also a young dude. Tries to like maybe he gets a bit touched when Oz go against him and stuff. Those things there. With me, with Emery, his first season, I think people don't. I don't know if you remember, he had Ramsey, man. Ramsey saved us in so many games that season, and also Uzil
No,
there.
look, he
Then
had
I think he
Ramsey.
brought. When did he bring Martinelli? Was it the first season or
No, it
second?
was the second season.
Second
It
season.
was the second season.
There was somebody else there. I don't know if it was Torreira. He brought Torreira in, or somebody that he just
He
played
brought
well with.
Torreira.
You know,
So now
Torreira and Xhaka, for example.
let's take it back a little bit. Rewind. He fine. I hear you. But remember, Ramsey was not a regular.
No, but my thing was
He
like
saved us. No, don't get me wrong. He saved us a couple of times, but he was not a regular. That's the first thing. And we got into a position where we had to sell Ramsey. He didn't want to sell Ramsey, but we all know the reason why Ramsey.
But that's what I'm saying. Like we didn't replace that role, like that Ramsey person.
We had Matteo Quindosi, who could. I mean, there are games that were won for us by Matteo Quindosi.
Yeah.
He got rid of it. He got rid of Torreira. You know what I mean? So even some of the players that played an influential role for us the season that we finished fifth under Emery, Arteta came on board and he just dismantled everything. You know what I mean? That's why I kept saying Pepe was an Arteta an Unai signing. He never really got the play of right under Arteta. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine. He read an article. He was supposed to send me the article, but he never did. However, the article pretty much William was talking about how difficult it is to adapt your football to Arteta's outlook on the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so if included in some of the challenges that you face as a player, you also have this situation where you can't adapt into the game that the coach wants. Then you know what I mean? It's gonna be all downhill.
Yeah, no, his style of football is not accustomed to old players, like or like forwardly attacking players, like Aubameyang. Let's be fair. Aubameyang has been poor this season. The only reason he has is because his role has changed. When we were playing three at the back with Arteta, that's when he was trying to stop goals. Then he went to four. With four, it means everyone must defend, everyone must press, everyone, you know, that kind of look. And like Obama, you don't like that. Don't get me wrong, he tries to do it and he's been doing it okay. But remember, we have tyranny on the left. You can put tyranny at anybody and that left is going to look good. You know what I mean? You know, so it's not so bad. And Xhaka also drops. So Xhaka's also become quite solid there. It's just that with Aubameyang, he's dropping back more than he's going forward and getting attempts at goal. And if you look throughout the season, whereas a Lacazette thrives because he doesn't mind dropping back, getting the ball and making that first movement into the spaces and providing the last ball. You know, Aubameyang can do it.
You're talking about that with one of the interesting thing about Laka when he drops back. I remember there was a time where there was good passage of play between him and Smith Rowe. So when he drops back, he's able to win, protect the ball, and feed players that are running. So in my opinion, when he drops that deep to get the ball, the two people that should be further up the field when he receives the ball should be the winners. Right? Should be or rather, let me say the other two forwards. Let me put it that way. So meaning when he receives the ball in the center, the one player that should be closer to him in case he cannot make that pass should be the creative midfielder. The creative midfielder should then be able to spot either an Oba pass, so you play Oba and Saka, an Oba pass down the left, an Oba run down the left, and Oba and Saka run down the Oba run down the left, Saka run down the right. That way, I think we can, because they will then receive the ball. He continues to advance. They can either take a shot, cut in and deliver a short pass as opposed to a cross into the box.
Yeah. 100%. I agree there. And that's another thing that remember we were crossing for half the season, you know, into the box. Like we were only crossing from our wing backs. You remember?
Don't remind me of that comment where he said if you continue crossing, it's only natural that you score eventually. I mean, really.
Yeah, and the problem is, I think that's your standpoint there. It's the two different. Like on paper, Arteta it's not like he's looking great. Like to be fair, you know, if you look at it, 14 losses, you know, that December period. Oh, December's a nice time, man. Like, we can't be losing like that. I was so depressed during that time when we lost all those games. So it's a lot of factors. I'm not saying he has to go. I just want to see where he's headed with his football camp. The problem is I feel like the players we like and loved are not going to get used to it. And we're seeing it like Torreira, Guendouzi, Ozil. Not saying Ozil should have stayed, but you know what I mean? Like, if you're not adapting to the football you're going, Koscielny, Mustafi, all of the people we also wanted him to get rid of, he also got rid of. But now I heard not Koscielny, what's his name? On the right, on the left, Kolasinac. He might be coming back after loan.
Oh, because he's on loan, ne?
Yeah, because we got no left back. And then that's other things as well. Like, there's small decisions like that Owa and Party thing. That for me, they showed something's not right. We know we need a 10. We knew it. And we went and got Odegaard in because of that. Smith Rowe, don't get me wrong, Smith Rowe is phenomenal. But I think you pointed out this, or somebody pointed out, Smith Rowe, he'll play with the ball with you. He'll move with you with the ball. So you get the ball, pass it, move around that guy, get the ball, pass it, create these nice. Odegaard, what I've seen is he'll do the same, but he also can slot a ball through here and there. Just slot one through, get you around behind. So that was nice. And the problem with Smith Rowe's approach is it's very intense on the legs, man. Injuries, you know, moves so much across the whole field. He's fit, he's a kid, he's doing well, but play like a City, a Liverpool, and a Chelsea in like 3 weeks, you're gonna be done. You know what I mean? Like, so and you don't want.
Now, so now here's the question, man. Do we how do I put it? Do we give game time to other guys who might be going to Madrid next season, or do we give Smith Rowe play game time? That's the first thing. Secondly, do we drop the 22 million that Madrid wants for Ceballos, or do we send Ceballos back to Madrid? What I would do personally is, and I've said it before, you see, Ceballos, as soon as we give him the freedom to go up front, he can do amazing stuff. You know what I mean? Remember the game we were tied towards the end, and he scored that goal against Sheffield United.
That was Sheffield United or Wolves.
It was Sheffield. They took us to the semis of the FA Cup, right? So one of the options that we have, especially when we're playing tough games where we need a very strong midfield, right? What I would do is take Xhaka, put him with Thomas at the back, put Ceballos in front of them. Because Ceballos, as much as Thomas is able to advance the ball, Ceballos is also able to advance the ball. So that would be how I approach that kind of game.
And you see, you have Emil Smith Rowe. The great thing about him, he can play on the wing. So he doesn't have to be the 10. He can be that little winger that drifts in and creates problems for you. You know what I mean?
And so, now I heard talk about us trying to get. In fact, do you have the starting lineup there? I'm trying to get it, but my internet, I can't find on my laptop. It's a bit of a.
Let's check how right you are.
Because it should be up by now.
Yeah, it's 2:30 the game.
Yeah, the game is literally in 45 minutes.
Hey, okay, so it's Ryan, Matt Ryan, Bellerin, Holding, Gabriel, Xhaka's left back, Elneny, Ceballos, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Lacazette. Okay, shit. It looks like Saka's number 10 there.
No, say that, no.
Smith Rowe, man.
No, I think Martinelli will stay on the left. Saka will go to the right. Lacazette will be up front, and Smith Rowe will be the creative guy.
Then Elneny, Ceballos, Xhaka, Gabriel, Holding, Bellerin, Ryan. Not a bad starting lineup, to be fair.
See, James, I still think, you know what, keep Leno at goal. Well, I guess Ryan is not that bad. Yeah, I think the team is a bit of a gamble, if you ask me.
The first Ryan
Martinelli deserves some game time, right? But what I would have done is I would have still started with the three guys that scored against Slavia Prague, because they proved to be pushing, right? They were quite good on the day. So I would have started with the three, wrap up the game in the first half. At halftime, throw in Martinelli and some of the other changes. I still would have kept Thomas Partey, but maybe he's a bit injured.
We have
That's
a
why he
bit of
wants
time
to.
before our next game. Yeah, it's only next week. Yo, Villarreal, the semi-final is on the 29th of April. Yeah.
Yeah. He seems a bit of a. Maybe he's trying to rest some legs. We'll see. We'll see.
Because we got Everton next weekend. So that's also a tough one.
Yeah, Everton is always tough.
Tough. But we never know how we can do. Hopefully, we get the 3 points today. Do you have any predictions for the match? Any predictions?
With the starting lineup, I probably see us conceding a goal, and I see us pulling 2 back. So maybe like a 2-1, 3-1.
2-1 or 3-1. It was 2-1.
Not somewhere.
3-1.
I don't think it's going to be one of those high-scoring goals.
Yeah, but Fulham's also fighting for relegation. Fulham's also fighting for relegation, I think. Let's see. But I think they're quite far off.
No, they're comfortably enough.
Oh, they're they're about 7 points off Burnley.
7 points, yeah. So they're not that. The one person that's in trouble there is Big Sam with West Brom.
Yeah, he's 2 points off.
Yeah, because Sheffield is already out.
Yeah, they're gone. I don't even know. They should rather just chill, take it easy, go on holiday now. We're going down. But yeah, Thlogi, thanks so much for today, chatting about Fulham and obviously Slavia Prague. And yeah, as we go into today's match, I think we're going to get a good win. I don't know if you have any last words before we head out.
Look, good luck to the guys. Let's go out there and do it, and hopefully I'll see you in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, hopefully.
So you better come through now.
Okay, no, we'll talk now. Let me end it. We'll talk. No, it's me, Kish. It's Thlogi, our resident here for the preview of Fulham as we go into the match. It's going to cost SA. We out.